For the one who stepped into equity and realized nobody around them speaks the language, the first time I met someone who actually understood equity, not theory, not YouTube talk. I mean, someone who could stand in it, speak it, and move from it the same way I was learning to. You ever wake up one day and realize you're not operating in the same world as everyone else anymore? Not physically, but jurisdictionally. That's where I was at. I'm studying for years, I'm reading, I'm seeing how equity actually moves. Did a couple court cases and how it doesn't care about form, only intent when it properly invoked. How it acts in personnel, how it compels performance instead of asking for permission. And I'm looking around like, who do I even talk to about this? Couldn't even talk to the psychiatrist about it, right? Literally. You try to explain beneficiary position, you try to explain standing, you try to explain why equity looks past everything on the surface. And people literally are looking at me like I'm speaking a different language. Because you are. Because I am. Because we do. So for a minute it was just me. Me and the books. Me and the maxims. Me refining how I think, how I speak, how I move. Until one day I ran into someone who didn't need it explained. I remember it clear as day. We weren't even forcing the conversation. It just aligned. I said something simple, something most people would have missed, and instead of questioning it, he continued it. Not from theory, from position. That's when I knew I'm not just talking to someone who's heard about equity. I'm talking to someone who actually operates in it. And the whole dynamic shifted. Because when two people meet in equity, there's no posture. There's no need to prove. You both already understand, overstand. Equity looks to intent, not form. Equity sees the beneficiary as the real owner. Performance outweighs appearance. Standing determines everything. So the conversation becomes different. We start talking about how to move without announcing, how to position yourself so outcomes follow naturally, how to recognize when someone is acting outside their authority without even needing to argue it, and most importantly, how to stay disciplined. Because equity doesn't reward noise, it rewards accuracy and precision. That moment showed me something I didn't realize I needed. Even more confirmation that these aren't just people online, or that there's way more to, there's a larger community, very small, but a larger community outside of all this teaching and courses on YouTube. Not, I didn't get this confirmation from the system, but from someone else walking in the same jurisdiction. That was just like my first time going to court, probate court, for my name change, and the judge offering me his oath, raising his right hand to me. It was just as powerful as that. And here's what I'll tell you. When you finally meet someone who can speak equity with you in real time, you realize this isn't something you learn and leave. This is actually something you become, someone you become. This is pure manifestation. Because once you've stepped into that position, you don't go back to arguing surface level issues. You don't go back to chasing outcomes. you start directing them. And when two people meet from that level on this level, you're not just having conversation. You're sharpening jurisdiction. You're refining execution. You're aligning with something that actually produces results. So if you're in that phase right now where you feel like you're the only one seeing it, stay there. Refine it. Continue to study it. Not to the point of where your brain is aching, not to the point of where you're reading words without comprehension. A little bit at a time until you can just read a whole section and it flows naturally. And it's like, I'm not going to explain how the brain does it because it's beyond me. It's not beyond me, but it's beyond the scope of this video. But yeah, study it. Live in it. From within out. You have to be this to even get out of that. Anyways, eventually, you are going to cross paths with someone who doesn't need an explanation. And when you do, that's when everything starts moving different.